So now that we've kind of defined religion, we have an understanding of what is religious activity or what counts as religion in anthropology. We want to talk about what forms religion actually takes. So what does religion look like on the ground? We have this kind of theoretical definition of religion, but when we enter a community or we're studying a community, what are we looking for? What does religion look like in the real world? Okay, and so several of the theorists that we discussed previously, so Tyler and Wallace, both encouraged a ranking of societies or of religious activity from simple to complex. We don't actually support that idea anymore in anthropology. So as we talk through a lot of these different concepts, you've heard over and over again the term primitive or simple to complex, and you've heard these ideas. But just like as we've talked about before, those are no longer prevalent theories in anthropology. They're not accepted and they're not encouraged. Okay, but we talk about those because it's important to understand where anthropologies come from. That's the history of the field. And we want to understand the motivations and the development of our theoretical perspective and of our ideas. So that's why we talk about those things, but reiterating once again that today in anthropology we do not encourage the ranking of people or religions or any other cultural aspect along an evolutionary scale of complexity or from simple to complex. So the graphic there, the animism to polytheism to monotheism, is the old model. We don't use that anymore. But we can see some connections between religion and political organization, subsistence, economic factors, and things like that. That's not because they evolve together or they evolve at all. Rather, it's just that they happen to show up together, they work well together, and these institutions are so strongly integrated and embedded within each other that you do see a lot of connection between them. And so to illustrate that, we've got an example in Papua New Guinea. They have a clan kinship system. So remember that clan ancestry traces back to a supernatural being or spirit. Okay, so we're tracing our history, our personal or familiar history, back to an animal, a spirit, an idea, as opposed to a literal ancestor. Okay, and so they're depicting religion and their spirituality through their clan spirit. So these two systems, religion and kinship, are so wholly integrated that they share some objects and they share some ritual. Okay, so the clan spirit and the religious spirit are very closely intertwined. And so we can see that connection already, but then when we start looking at different specific communities within the larger community that follows this kind of clan system, we start to see more differences emerge in response to population density. Okay, so in one community, they're very rural, have low population density, and so the clan spirits are associated with specific areas of land. So maybe one area is spirit A of one clan, and then the next patch of land over is going to be associated with clan B in a different spirit. Okay, they have the space to do so. Two other communities are much more highly densely populated, so they have a lot more people, and instead of living in big open spaces, they live in communities of long houses or long buildings with a lot of families living in these buildings together. And so they don't have the space to allow the spirits to embody large areas of land. They just don't have enough space. And so instead, the clan spirits will actually live in masks, which are placed along the back wall of the community or of the longhouse or the building there. And so we can start to see connections, just as an example here, between kinship systems, religious systems, subsistence strategies, our natural environment, and all sorts of different aspects of a community. And so when we talk about seeing things kind of paired, so seeing any economic system align with a religious system or a kinship system aligning with a religious system, it doesn't follow that they're ranked or that as it becomes more complex the other becomes more complex as well. We don't think about it in terms of simplicity or complexity, but we do see some correlation there.